Now I'm just what you want. I look like you want me to, and I can't tell what's true, cause my world's made up of fake news, yeah. I'm realigning every facet of the space I'm in. I'm customizing all the curves that give the shape I'm in. I'm redesigning all of me so maybe I fit in. Now I'm not wanting, but I fucking hate this world we're in. It's just not the kind of place I wanna be. It don't got the kind of rules I wanna see. I feel caught with no shot, so fuck not. Won't live inside your robot. Not like this, cause I don't think you really know who I am, or what I like, or why I don't fit inside your universe, cause I always come out feeling worse. No. And you don't know me, despite all your data says. These ads I confess, they must know I'm depressed, yeah. And I don't think like that, I'm not like you. Fuck you, I'm not a stat, I'm misconstrued. I'm taking my life back, but from all your garbage I scroll through. I'm not like this, cause I don't think you really know who I am, or what I like, or why I don't fit inside your universe, cause I always come out feeling worse. No. And I don't think like that, I'm not like you. Fuck you, I'm not a stat, I'm misconstrued. I'm taking my life back, but from all your garbage I scroll through. So I hit start like this, and the world loads like that, and I blow harsh with a kiss. I'm metamorphosing into a cat. Now I race around like glitch, find the time to look a name on Twitch, switching lights in my brain, yeah, Pokemon's got me bewitched. I'm fucking with fans, trying to make them glow, and we take pics like this, and I like the pics so much, I'm gonna pin them up home. Now they can reach me by phone, I am doing this on my own. This kingdom will be overthrown. I'm realigning every facet of the space I'm in. I'm customizing all the curves that give the shape I'm in. I'm redesigning all of me so maybe I fit in. Now I'm not whining, but I fucking hate this world we're in. It's just not the kind of place I wanna be. It don't got the kind of rules I wanna see. I feel caught with no shot, so fuck not. Won't live inside your robot. Won't live inside your robot. Live inside your robot. I'm not your robot. I'm not a robot.
Almost completely crashed out on the timeline today. I'm not going to lie. So the thesis has changed. There is still a massive, massive stigma around digital assets. There's been this warp to the minds of video gamers of the world. It's weird to watch. We're going to go over very specifics regarding it. We're going to hear from very intelligent people with takes on such a thing, general news, and everything else. If you have anybody that's in Web3 crypto, and you're like, yo, you know what? Let's share a little bit of passion. Maybe they'll enjoy the stream. Would love if you're able to share that with anybody you might know. And that's how we get the word out about the good. So let's play a clip here from David Schwartz of Ripple talking about crypto as a whole, and then we'll get into the thesis.
As far as like what people should focus on, if we're going to turn to the corner to mass adoption, user experience is going to be absolutely critical. The biggest problem with mass adoption is when the users have to understand the details of what they're doing. If you look at any technology that's gotten mass adoption, whether it's the internet, computers, cars, it's when people don't have to understand the details of the technology that it works the best. And so it's getting that user experience. Interoperability is a big part of that. If it's like my money's over here, but the thing I want to do is over here, and I really have to think about that, that's too much work. As far as like what people should focus.
It's too much work. It's too much work. Okay, so user experience, making things easy. Emtali, what is going on, my Brumalachi? So there was this video that went out this morning from League of Legends. I play League of Legends, or at least I played League of Legends a lot. I've purchased skins within there. Used to do, once to twice a month, they had this Clash tournament where you could get together with a group of friends and compete within a tournament. They're now scrapping Clash. The free skins that they used to give away, they're removing. They now have way more of a microtransaction. Well, not microtransactions. That's not the right phrasing, but for the skins, it costs way more. To get something that's rare, you have to, go through like a loot box type experience, and it's extraordinarily extractive. It's super annoying. So I made this post saying, Make your skins and icons digital assets that we can trade with cash. For a company hell-bent on leeching funds from its users, you'd think you'd be the first to implement a system that you could profit even more from. So for anybody that's like, okay, how would they profit from it? So on the initial skin sale, let's say somebody buys from their store. Yo, what's going on? Is that Toasty? Toasty, your name is so dark on my screen, and there's like a screen over there. Good to see you, brother. Hope you're doing well. And so you purchase these skins, right? And the idea in concept with this is, all right, so the money goes to then Riot, who's, Riot Games, the company. Afterwards, if somebody's like, oh, I paid $10 to $15 for this skin, I don't care anymore. Maybe I can trade it on a secondary for somebody who's willing to pay me $5 for it, in theory. So then there would be, let's just say, a 5% fee on that $5. Not a crazy amount, but if you have hundreds of thousands to millions of players, and even a percentage of them is trading, that adds up pretty damn quickly. So you'd think, this is phenomenal. It lets people not kind of be trapped into whatever they've purchased, because currently, if you want a skin that doesn't exist or you're not able to purchase, you have to buy an account off of like eBay or some black market, which is against terms of service. And you can get scammed on that. That account could get shut down, and Riot doesn't profit at all from that. So why would you not do that? And so, which case, I got a couple of responses. Like this person saying, please don't listen to this guy. And it's like, okay, why? Can you explain why? That's all I'm here for. So thank God they responded, because I'm like, this is something to work off. So they could think of 3 reasons why this would be a horrible thing to allow people to trade assets that they've already purchased. 1, the artificial scarcity of a digital good, because you can print it out of thin air. It's artificial scarce, even though, maybe they could have it where they say there's going to be X amount of skins. Nobody says there's artificial scarcity around Pokemon cards, even though they literally can print millions upon billions and nobody would ever know unless you are the direct supplier. Inflated prices by artificial scarcity. So the prices would go up potentially on the skins. That sounds kind of like a good thing, in theory. But apparently that's bad. And number 3, scalpers brought to game purely for profit hoarding content from players like CSGO. I don't know if that makes sense. So what's bad about somebody joining something to purchase skins and we're saying it's profit hoarding? Well, I mean, you currently can't trade them to begin with. So nobody's making any profit except for the company. Think of the player. And so, my response was, people are already paying for skins across gaming in general, so I don't understand the concern of artificial scarcity if we're moving to a world where that exists everywhere already. And for anybody that doesn't play League, there's a notion around, well, League is dying, right? Like Overwatch, it was popular and then it kind of wasn't. Call of Duty is pretty strong right now, but it's had ebbs and flows of stuff. And I mean, there was an announcement that Smite got shut down. And so League is still really, really massive, but there is this narrative that League is dying. So the League is dying narrative could potentially benefit from having more people, in this case, scalpers, take interest in it. Maybe. Then all of a sudden you have people that are making videos, content all around just the skin resale market. Theoretically, that would bolster players. No. And you can still play League without the expensive skins, because they're talking about profit hoarding content. What do you mean? If somebody has a rare skin in game, and it's even rarer if the price goes up, what the hell? So you can still play League without the expensive skins, but in theory, someone that bought the faker skin for $500 because League is going to do these massive expensive skins now. Before it wasn't too bad, but now they're like, hey, $500 for a rental skin that you can't ever do anything with, and if we ban your account, you lose it? That's tough. And if they wanted to sell it, and potentially even at a lower price, why shouldn't they be able to? Because if you miss the purchase window, because it was a limited time window, the only way you could purchase is on the black market, eBay, whatever the hell it is, which is against terms of service. I would not view this as a negative. Kai, what's going on? So I'm trying to read this, and the self-reflection aspect of it, I'm like, am I wrong with breaking this down? Does this person have a very negative connotation because there's something in CSGO that they wish they had? And there was a couple other comments. I'd block people that were like, oh, you have a bored ape, why are we listening to you? It's like, okay, well, that's cool that you know what my profile is. I don't think that takes away from the argument. And so if we have this massive, massive stigma still around digital assets, where it's kind of these made up problems people are having before it's even here, back to the original video with Joel Katz that we played, it's like everything's got to be seamless. Can we hide the tech? Can we make it even easier where none of this is relevant and it's all behind the scenes? Because I think that's what it's going to take. But it makes me realize that we're paying attention to this transformation happening while there's people out there that just don't understand it whatsoever and have their own reasons, good or wrong, right? Like, I could be totally wrong with this, and you could think that I'm wrong with this. But the technological advancements, the notion of why the hell am I paying for this even though I like it because I can't do anything with it, I think it's going to get more and more accepted over time. All right, enough with the rant. Billabong, Quicksilver, Volcom. You guys remember those brands? Apparently, they're shutting down stores in the U.S. Captain Zwingli with a great take. Dow to raise funds and buy these brands would be a hit on chain. I agree. If we have these nostalgic brands, how can we take advantage of them? Also, we are live on Abstract if anybody's interested on there. Oh, Jeremy. What's going on, brother? From years to months to days, we got this. Portals, art reveal next week. Portals is one of the metaverse worlds similar to Sandbox, Otherside, etc., but it's on Solana. Curious what this entails. I feel like we've had very lackluster art reveals regarding metaverse land. I mean, Otherside was cool, but just because it took so long to get to certain components of it, I still think, generally speaking, for most of these NFTs, people prefer something that they can have like an avatar or like use to represent themselves. So PulseChain is something that's not been talked about whatsoever. I got into it like a little bit, and then I was like, all right, not my cup of tea, but I still follow a couple people from that time, and I saw this on my timeline, and I thought, ooh, let's bring it up. So 3 of the top 20 performing coins in all of crypto for the last 24 hours are on PulseChain. You Solana degens are worn out and fed up with scams. I suggest you look at what's happening over here before you see all of these coins on the front page of tens of billions. So let's argue about this for a second. Everybody's going to be maxis of whatever chain they're on, right? So PulseChain here, I would doubt that PulsePunk really wants to go out and use other networks for the people that are out on Solana. The same cup of tea for whatever network is your favorite. I think we're just going to need applications that can connect to all these different chains, and that's going to be the future because we just saw Barrett chain launch, and the things that I'm seeing on the timeline are people talking about, well, there's not a whole lot going on there. We can like deposit funds and all this other stuff. And again, that's like a naive take. I haven't like really looking into it. But I mean, we saw Abstract come out. It's got a couple of different applications for it. We've seen Root Network when it came out. There was not really that many applications other than like buying, selling, and trading on dexes and a marketplace. There's all these new chains coming out with all these big things, but it's really going to only matter about the applications themselves. So how can we get connected to all of them? EkosGenesis. Does this look familiar to you? Because it looked familiar to me. I was going through my following list saying, I need to clean house a little bit. So if I happen to unfollow you and you watch the stream, yell at me. Yell at me, you'll get that follow back immediately. But I'm just going through and I'm trying to see people that don't really post a lot or stuff that I can't really use for the show, etc. And so I went back to their OpenSea page because I remember this being a huge collection at one point. Then it clicked, the description. All one-of-one original art handcrafted by David Maisel, founding chairman of Marvel Studios. So this was a big KOL push months ago, if you remember. And these are, still worth a fair little bit, but I don't see this on my timeline at all. And in their bio, they now have a Kickstarter that they've begun, but 287 ETH. I think the mint was rather expensive for these as well, if I can jump through here and go back. Oh, so it was an airdrop. Were they all airdrop? Oh, okay. These are all just owned by the exact same person that's selling them all. I'm trying to find one that's not the Simple 8 person. No, they were all airdropped. I thought these were going for a lot. Minted 975. What in the hell? And these all went to specific people. What size is the collection itself? So, yeah, 995. So yeah, I thought this was a paid mint. So I don't know if the airdrop was for something else, but we're gonna have to go back and do some research. But EkosGenesis, you might have remembered. A little bit of a nostalgia for you. ESPN got hacked yesterday, their Instagram account. The official ESPN coin is live on Solana. There's just compromises every day. It's kind of crazy. Cab over at Claynosaurz. Have you guys seen these herds? I don't fully understand what it is or like what the NFTs do as a herd, but people have been building these collections of singular colors. But there's a link to help you. So I jumped over to there. Your gateway to Claytopia. Discover the collections, herds, tribes, and lures that define the world of Claynosaurz. If we start our journey, what does this look like? So there's trade explorers with that. Ancient spray cans. Trying to find anything that's regarding the herds. Let's looking at it. So the benefits from the collection, because I actually don't know. This Claynosaurz collectors can enjoy exclusive access to the Claynosaurz ecosystem. This includes, but is not limited to, events, early access, access to holders, gated content, and other activations. All right, talk about a generic breakdown. But I do think Claynosaurz has one of the cooler looking collections out there. And there's some of the, I think, gold, super rare ones people were paying like $100,000 for. Insane. Insane. All right. What about the future? What about being alone? What about AI? What about content?
Saying is that you're watching the Super Bowl alone.
Yes.
Okay,
What's wrong with that? What's wrong with being alone?
There's something about being closed in by that headset, right? Like you can't see the people around you.
Welcome to 2025. We're all alone. What's the breaking news? We're alone. Who cares?
Let's move away from that, not towards it, Alex.
So it's interesting because this is, similar to the conversation we started off at the beginning of this, where I'm advocating for digital assets, people being able to trade, actually have ownership of their things, which also benefits the company that created them as well. But here is kind of two different viewpoints of somebody saying, well, it's fine to be alone and enjoy something, while somebody else is saying, no, you have to be together with other individuals. But as we're getting more digital, as the experiences are arguably getting more enhanced through VR goggles, the experiences just online in general, I don't disagree with Alex here. I think there's going to be a lot of things that just people can enjoy solo. All right, so the Tuah thing, the podcast. Yo, Unzi, what's going on? So this got leaked yesterday, the entire session where they call it the LA Vape Cabal. Wild. Anyway, I guess this was not supposed to air. It went out. I don't know if it's a PR stunt, to be totally honest, because this ended up going like super viral everywhere, but it got deleted. But people had a bunch of clips about this, and this was one of them from that. And yeah, here you go.
Idea just to throw it out there on the pod.
We were talking about, I think if you took all the money that you made from the deal, whatever, and just like bought back the coin and then locked it up, I feel like that's a very like clear action that you can make, back to the community. And I think that would.
All right, so people that bought the Tuah coin, we're calling it a community. Nice. I don't know if I've ever seen like buybacks really go over that well in general. So I mean, like, I guess it's like an all right idea, but I don't know. And allegedly, the entire podcast was 39 minutes of Banks loving the sound of his own voice. Haley asked the experts one single question about pre-sale legality, and that was it. So we don't have to watch it, but that's insane that that's what came of it. All right, Daniel Smith out of Alberta. We got some Canada news. This investment is another sign that Alberta continues to be a leader in technology and innovation, not only across the country, but across the world. If you want to do business and have a plan to bring your own power, then Alberta is the place for you. The headline, Alberta welcomes world's first fully integrated off-grid Bitcoin mining facility. Nice. Nice. And I made a post the other day, last night, more specifically, and it was about how I think that there's maybe half the country of Canada that's actually in crypto and on X, but it doesn't seem like that because most people don't say like, oh yeah, like I'm from here, I'm from there. Just doesn't happen. But I think you'd be surprised how many Canadians are there and Australians. Yum said that as well. This is nuts. This is genuinely nuts. Bong bears are the first collection to be more profitable than Bored Apes. If you minted a Bong bear for 0.069 ETH, you received one Bond bear, two Boo Bears, 4 baby bears, 8 band bears, and 16 bit bears. Total worth of that is roughly $2 million. Clean 10,000x. I mean, bravo to the people that ended up minting that. Gotta love to see it. But this is why we have the comparison game that we do. Oh, I have this NFT collection. It didn't end up doing as well as Bored Apes or this one. What are the founders doing? Are they actually building? It spurs more content. Or trouble, if you will. For founders within the space. But crazy perspective on that front. The Kentucky State Rep, TJ Robertson introduced his bill to invest up to 10% of state funds in Bitcoin and crypto. We highlighted the chart the other day. We're seeing a whole bunch of Bitcoin and crypto adoption happening across the states as a whole, and it's happening rather quickly. Owenzy, is this the Wish.com fluff vert? Yeah, it's crazy. Have you seen like the mega ETH? They called it the fluff verse, but then they're charging an ETH, but it's the world's first real-time blockchain, which I don't know what that exactly means. I mean, I could say, yeah, it's the real-time blockchain, but I don't know what the hell that means. Pudgy Penguins, they have this graphic that says household name. Now, remember, this is on top of the announcement from Luca that there was an acquisition. So Pudgy Penguins, are they implying that they acquired something that's a household name, or are they just showing off a graphic saying that Pudgy Penguins are a household name? There was a sleuth that looked at the popcorn bit and it looked like Mickey Mouse ears, and it's like, nah, it's Disney. And we've seen a lot of collections say, oh, we're partnered with Disney, or kind of hinted that, and it has never come to fruition. So we'll see. Matt Hougan, there is absolutely massive disconnect between retail and professional sentiment in crypto right now. Retail sentiment is the worst it's been in years, while professional investors are extraordinarily bullish. It's like living in two completely separate worlds. So then my response to that, so those of us who remain bullish are allowed to rebrand ourselves as professional investors? Oh, let me go get my tie. And I'll never forget, I was watching TV a couple of years ago, and there was somebody that was speaking on, I don't know if it was like Entertainment Tonight. It might have just been like a YouTube clip, but they called themselves a celebrity expert. Nobody gave them that title. You're just sitting there like, that person just made that up, but we're going with it just because they're feeling confident and they talk like they know what they're doing. So the new role, when you guys get a gig, if you can change your title, if you can, just make it something wild. As long as it's like quarterly relevant, who cares? IMX Passport just hit 4.6 million signups, mass adoption narrative heating up while everyone's distracted by spot ETFs. So, I mean, part of me wanted to go into the stream being like, it feels like crypto gaming is dead. And by that number, you would say, well, that's inaccurate. And I think it really changes from country to country of who's actually adopting crypto games, who's adopting the play to earn concepts. You have to do a little bit of digging to find out where. But 4.6 million for IMX, which is Immutable X, not bad. So My Pet Hooligan, they posted their roadmap this time. And they highlighted some components of it, but marketplace, marketing, esports, Zuck bots, whatever the world that is, a couple different games. But the big component here is artificial intelligence. Every single collection out there is doing artificial intelligence of some sort. And it's happening very quickly. So here's a video from the WayFinder Foundation talking a little bit about AI and what they're doing.
Whoever wins in this segment, is going to have an enormous amount of influence and impact on all systems and throughput. And it needs to be done correctly. And yeah, we just thought that like this was something that we couldn't not do this. So I still feel that way. It's just like, if there's anything worth, I think I was tweeting this the other day. I was saying like, if there's anything worth working on outside of Parallel, it's this. And like, otherwise, what are you doing? Like that's how I feel about it. I don't see any like, and that's not to, sorry, I should say like, I don't want to sound like, oh, I'm speaking disparagingly about people who build out ones and people who build cool dexes and cool games. That's not the case. But like, to me, there's like an existential, there's an opportunity that seems somewhat existential almost in this. And I think a number of people see it that way. I don't think they all see it the same. I think some of us see it, from just different lenses.
But ultimately, the point being, there's people that are dedicating everything they have to this, thinking that, hey, the frameworks, the things that get picked up by the world regarding AI are going to have massive, massive, massive implications. As is this. CFTC announces crypto CEO forum to launch digital asset markets pilot. What? We gotta like ChatGPT shrinking this down. You know what I mean? So the Commodity Futures Trading Commission will hold a CEO forum of industry-leading firms to discuss the launch of the CFTC's digital asset markets pilot program for tokenized non-cash collateral such as stablecoins. Participants will include Circle, Coinbase, Crypto.com, and Ripple. Okay, so this then jumps into the narrative of what are those various companies working on and building out. Obviously, Circle, you have USDC. Coinbase is a part of that. Crypto.com, one of the big exchanges. Ripple USD. Just saying, having a lot of things that are interesting. Nick O'Neill, the guy who predicted that Artifact would shut down and was proven correct, says breaking Kanye West, or Ye, and Dave Portnoy both working with Meteora on upcoming token launches. Same teams that launched Trump. Rumors of imminent launch for Portnoy, but timing for both is currently unconfirmed. Oh my goodness. Okay. So this is where everybody starts saying, the top signals are everywhere for this, that, and the other thing. I mean, we have part of the argument that still goes back to, well, if there's ways for people to profit off their likeness without middlemen, theoretically, that's the best case for them. Now, the problem with this is that generally for these meme coins, it's just like a flash grab. They're usually not super sustainable. Some of them end up getting massive traction. A lot of them end up going to zero very quickly. They say, there's going to be utility of some sort for them. And like 9 times out of 10, that doesn't happen. Also, it's a meme coin, so it's not supposed to have utility. And I don't know. I don't know what to think about it, but that's going to be interesting if that does happen. Otherside, bring your Kodas to life in 3D. Now, if you have a Koda, guess what? You can use it in 3D. And this is an example of what that looks like. These kind of looks like the Blancos characters. You guys remember Blancos? I feel like this is like one of the title screens with it rocking on there. The National Bank of Poland stated that it will not hold Bitcoin in its reserves under any circumstances. The regulator's chief emphasized that Bitcoin does not meet security criteria. I think this isn't like a problem, right? We have like a lot of good headlines and then ones that are like somewhat negative, but everybody's going to do things differently. And I think that, you do you, baby. Immutable. Talked about IMX earlier, getting the multiple millions of Passport signups. Last night, a Discord account of a community manager had their Discord session token compromised, resulting in a phishing link being posted in the Immutable Discord. Our security team responded within 5 minutes. The incident was fully resolved in under 30. The incident was isolated to Discord. To our knowledge, no community members had their wallets compromised by the scam. Please contact our team if you have been affected. Only reason we're bringing this up, reminder, security, even people you trust, if something ends up happening to their account, always have second guesses. I was close with somebody a couple years ago, and I got a DM at like 1 a.m. in the morning from them. And they're like, we're starting the mint now for this. And I was like, well, that's weird. And I had the page opened up on my like laptop, right, of like what it was. I was like, there's just something that feels completely off about this. And then 10 minutes later, somebody was associated with them like, oh my God, they got hacked. Did anything happen? Are you okay? And I was like, well, I didn't touch it. I looked at it, but I didn't touch it. And you can tell certain things from the verbiage, from everything else. So have your head on a swivel. That's going to be it for this edition of XFeed. If you're wanting more content, again, we do the RWA Segments podcast. If you check out the link in the description below down on YouTube, if you happen to follow me on X, the link is there in the bio. I need to check over on Abstract here. Yo, Jeremy. How we doing? Still rocking in chat. Love to see it. But Emtali, Hunar, Kai, Toasty, Emtali, Jeremy, thank you guys for coming on through. We'll talk soon. Have yourself a good one. Peace.